Okay, I finally understand how keys work. Like, I just learned like the do re mi fa sol la scale and like okay, so let me like this video is going to be me reciting what I've learned so that I can see what I've remembered effectively because I was just screwing around on my guitar for a little bit. So, from open, uh, if I'm running like C as my key, that means I'm like going like C, D, E, F, G, A, and then B's us. However, if I'm following the do re mi fa sol la ti scale, that runs on some of them being half steps, but we call them majors. So specifically, um, F is uh, E sharp because you're going from like E, which is that fingering, up one, and each step on the fretboard is half a whole step. So like E, E sharp, uh, and then you know E sharp, then like F. It's not really like that. I'm not exactly sure how that works. See, this is why I'm doing this though, because now I understand I can look into that. But like, so I'm going like E, and then to walk it up, I do the same pattern, but I just bar it one higher. So now I'm up half a step, which we call F. Then if I want to move a whole step, E, F, G, I bar it, and I move one, two, and now it's alright. And then if you compare that, oh, okay, let me get this down right properly first. And you compare that to, they're the same note. So like, if I take, and that's why B works the way that it does, because like your A fingering is just these three, and then a whole step up would be one, two higher, A, B. So then you have the same three strings held down, you're just using more fingers now, and you bar it where you were before, that's B, and then to make C from that, B is C flat, right? That's the other half step. So you'd move up one, and it would be C. And then compare that to, they're the same noise, and I'm not tone deaf, and I know it because I can hear those are the same thing. And this works like if I'm in A minor and I want to move up to B minor, it's like A minor, well, then A, B, that's a full step. So one, two, bar it where it was, new chord shape. And like, you can just kind of move stuff. And that means that if I want to play, if I don't like B, if I don't like playing B, by doing this like weird like three fingers all on the same fret, and then what I can do is I can take E, because 12 frets is a whole jump on the scale, that's a whole different octave, right? I can take E, which I'd like more as a fingering, and I can jump 12 frets up to here with my E fingering. I can bar the 12th fret. I have to hold it like this though. I can bar the 12th fret, then I can put an E fingering. That's still E. Then I can walk it back to A, B, C, D, E. So I can make it a D by walking it back to. Got it. And then if we compare that, same noise. So here, back to with my E fingering. Then, if I want to go A, B, C, right? One, two. And then B is C flat. So back one to make it a flat. I can play B like this. I don't need to do that weird 3-finger thing. I can just do an E fingering. And then if you compare that to the other B, my sound's actually clearer on the E fingering because I'm not doing that weird thing where I'm overlapping 3 fingers into 1 fret like a xenomorph, right? So effectively, I can now screw with the scales, and if I don't like a fingering because it's uncomfortable, I now have the power to do it completely somewhere else with any fingering I want. So I was using the E one, but like I'm a big fan of the G fingering. So if I want to make B out of G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, so I need to move it up twice. So G, 1, 2, that's A, and then 1, 2, that's B. So if I bar that and I do a G fingering, I gotta, sorry, my pinky's not very dexterous. And then that's B, right? If we compare that, it's like, whatever. Honestly, B's my nightmare. That's why I'm trying to figure out other ways to do it. But like, it all makes sense now, and like I know how scales work, and I now understand how to use the neck of a guitar, and I learned for the first time what a like scale is and what keys are and how like do re mi fa sol la works and sol la ti, and like now it checks out. I get it. I finally get it. It's not just really weird now when songs are like B flat minor and I'm like, what is that? Now it's like, oh, A minor is this to B minor, 1, 2, and then to make it a flat, walk it back 1, and then you bar where you walked it back to, so you bar it there, and then you do the fingering, and that's also a sharp minor, but we call it B flat minor. And it makes sense now. I get it. C sharp minor is called that because you take A minor, 1, 2, B minor, 1, and then you, because B is C flat, so to make it C sharp, you go there, and then like you bar it on the 4th fret, and then you run your fingering, and it's like, I don't know, I'm just really happy because I finally figured out how notes work. I've had 0 music education, and I finally understand a little bit of how like scales work and how keys work, and like I kind of get it now. Like if I want to translate everything up into a key of G where I started here, I can do that. And I can play Wonderwall. Yeah, so that's the video. I hope I managed to convey how excited I am.